If you have not liked and subscribed, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that bell button so that you get all the updates. Also follow me in other different social media, Twitter and TikTok. I posted a lot of educational videos, how to do charts and whatnot. So let's get it started. Today I just wanted to kind of go over the market, what's going on with the overall market, and also kind of go over Rocket. So how Rocket short squeezed and how you could have played today. So basically a review of today's, right? So I'm gonna go over that. So Rocket really trimmed, one of the best day for Rocket. I think it went almost it was up almost 70%, I think 70% or more. It gapped up and huge. So basically few things, right? Few things kind of helped it propel that. First was earning was quite good. I was totally missing Rocket. I was in it before, but I totally missed this ride. But yeah, it's all good. I was actually somebody mentions in the morning live, and I was kind of looking into it, but I had to go somewhere, so I totally could not ride the boat. But I'm gonna review anyway for you guys, so it just helps. A lot of people ask me just have a trade review. How would you do that? And I'm gonna go over that, right? So few things, right? If you look at Rocket, today's pre-market, they have a significant volume, right? A very significant volume. It was a leader, so that's a so it's just in your radar, right? Something going on, right? So few things. They had a good earnings. They were doing a share buyback. I think $1 billion in buyback. And on the top of that, people are dumb. They are still shorting the stocks. Like I think 40 or 50% of the stock is shorted. So I think that's when a lot of people kind of got in, bought back the shares, probably lost tons too. And that's why we had the ride. But anyway, so a few things, right? In the morning, you are looking into the intraday high. I mean, the morning high, and kind of planning to trade an entry. If you look at you probably notice one of the best pattern I love is breakout of all-time high. It did exactly at 34. Even if you got in right around, I think it was around 12:1, I forgot the time. If you got in at 34 and did a day trade or even a weekly or whatever, you should be up, pretty up, right? Almost 34 to 40. That's a massive gain. So now let's get it started, right? So if you look at the shorter time frame for day trade, man, it's making really tight, but it's an aftermarket. So if you look at that, we gapped up, right? We gapped up. So we gapped up significantly and it dipped in the morning. So basically you would not really enter here. So when do you enter, right? So usually this is not a great entry to enter here, because a lot of times what happens, you gapped up, it just try to sells down and everything. So we don't know that yet, right? So then what you basically do is, I'm gonna look at 5 minutes, but basically you are trying to get up the intraday break, right, which is 28. So if it breaks 28, that's when you enter, right? So again, you could have entered right here, maybe cheaper, but it could have gone down. So we're going to look at the smaller time frame, 5 minutes, right? So exactly right here, 28.45, right? So 28.45 you could have, and look at that, how it's respecting, it's kind of supporting, right? So but that's not even like that of a great opportunity, in the sense a lot of times but if you enter, I would have entered right around here. You always need to give enough rooms. Maybe you got stopped out right here, but that's probably would not be really good trade, in the sense if you look at VWAP and EMA, probably it was below, kind of going down. So but even if you entered, probably always give a bigger room, but you can see that the trend, right? So if you look at that, this level, intraday high, like 48.50, 48.50 held pretty much, right? So in the 5, that's why you gotta look at the little higher time frame too. You go up, down, but it basically held this level pretty much. And we had the massive volume in the beginning, but volume was dying down. Nothing, it was still quite a lot, but it was basically dying. The most action literally happened right around 12:45, right? Look at that. If you draw a trend line right here, not trend line, but if you, yeah, look at this, right? It was kind of struggling this level, right? So you can see that even if you enter here, it was struggling this levels, and basically it was making that channel, right? That's when it broke that all-time high, the intraday high, right? It broke it, right? A great entry point, and as I always says, it great entry point. So, and also always confirm your that break with the volume, and good volume, right? You have very small volume than big volume, like enter right around here anywhere, like basically 30 29 30 to 30 60, right? You enter like that's a grid, and you see next candles more volume like 31, you're already instantly profitable, right? So when you enter here, put your stop somewhere around here 29, right? A dollar. Even if you are trading a shares, like let's say 100 shares, you are risking $100 to make 200 $300, right? So now you are 30 60, and next candles it's up 31, right? You can put your stop to somewhere around 30. So now it's a free trade, right? Basically you it's a free trade now. Now you see it's like 32 and 33. It's 33 34, almost $4 within like that's 5 minutes, so within 30 minutes, right? That's when you sell some. Look at that. Why? It was an all-time high before too. That's why we kind of it tried to kind of calm down. So it's a resistance, so it tried to kind of resist, but it broke out again, right? If you're not, this is another great entry point, as I said, 34, right? Boom, and again it kind of again always get some pullback, but great entry, and you probably made money. So if you made money, congrats up. It was a great setup today. I think short sellers got squeezed, but sounds like after hours a little bit down, but not much. I won't really say. We'll see tomorrow what happens, depending upon the shorts how covering they how much they covered. But it was a massive day for the RKT. Next, I wanted to go over Neo. A lot of people are in Neo, so let's look at Neo. Neo had one of the worst day today. Neo literally had one of the worst day today. Kind of opened a gap down after the earnings. People didn't like the earnings, so we went a little bit up, but basically died down. We are at 43.23. I think I posted in small account challenge like credit spread for 10 $12. Some people did debit spread because they did not understand, but I definitely think it's we are finding support around 33 34. That area is still right there, a smaller wick. So I feel like we will hold it, but if not, we are probably going to 39. So let's see how that happens. It can happen, but if you believe in a Neo, I think it's a great ad. You cannot really point. I think we are below 50 day, probably like probably even 100 day, right? So if you look at 100 day, maybe we are in 100 day, below 100. So next stop probably 150. 150 is quite there. 35. I don't think we're gonna go 35, but you never know. So that would be, but it had the great sell-off, like a massive sell-off. Overall market was kind of, we started a little bit green but down mostly, except a few names, squares, just cause they had a square bank, so above this support, so looks good. uh, Really undecision candle. And for SE also had a really great earnings, but we did sold off. We opened almost 70 and sold off to the 50s. But SE is a great ad whenever it goes to 50, a 50 day, still at 27.29. Let's see how we go, but it was the only two stocks positive in my watch list. If you look at the laggers, like which lost the most, FTCH, it has kind of pulled down a lot. I'm actually looking at this area. If it goes to 50 55, maybe adding some great company. Zoom kind of did that too. Zoom had a I mean, if you did had a puts, you really that's I don't know why, but they had amazing earnings, and they were up, they gapped up, and man, they sold off from all the way from 437 to uh, 372. That's a massive, right? So $40, so 30 $70 down today. I mean, $70, they gapped up, so not really $70 down, but huge engulfing red candles with a lot of volume. So lot of selling happening. But again, if you look at the same thing with the Fastly was down, but still in this range. I feel like it's always bounced back from this range. We'll see. I have some calls for 80 85, I think, spreads, and some 80 calls as well. let's see, I do have a month out expiration, so I'm gonna wait a couple of weeks. If not, I'll probably cut it out. The Roku is down. I think they had some kind of offering. Roku is actually in the 50-day area, so I may actually, depending how they open tomorrow, I may get in. We might have a stimulus this week, so yeah, that could be really good. But other than that, Puton is down almost at 200 day, I think 117. Tesla is down 4%. So pretty much all the stocks were down significantly today. So yeah. Um, okay, Doku is back to 232. Doku, I like it if it's in 20s area. I'm totally a buyer on 20s. So yeah, overall a really not a great day. If you had puts, that's great, but overall kind of mixed. I started red, so a lot of undecision happening. So I think we need a stimulus, and a stimulus will help us kind of propel higher. That's it for today. If you have any more question or comment, let me know. And yeah, thank you guys, and have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.